From Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, this is the Sunbelt College Baseball Summer League featured game. Hello, this is Alan Scott to webcast the soon-to-start game between the Aztecs and the BNL Rockets. Tonight, they're starting the fourth and final round of action in the Sunbelt College Baseball League. These two teams have met 3 times already, and although the Aztecs have already won the season series, first place in the league play is still up for grabs. The position and the positive thing about getting first place is that in the playoffs, first will play fourth place, and right now it would be the difference between playing a team that is just barely above 500 versus having to play a team that is 6 or 7 games above 500. As I mentioned, the Aztecs have won the season series against the BNL Rockets. On opening day, it was the Aztecs 9-0. The second game was 8-3 in the Aztecs' favor. And the most recent and third game of the 4-game series, the Aztecs won it 5-1. The Rockets are 2 games behind the Aztecs in the standings, so that makes this a very important game. A win puts them only 1 game back. A loss drops them to 3 games back. On top of that, the next game for the league-leading Aztecs will be against the Cochise Stars, a team that has 1 victory over the top club already, with 2 games against them left to go. There are 2 other games in the league tonight. The Rincon Knights play the Cochise Stars, while the Old Pueblo Kings really need a win over the Tucson Champs. The Kings need a win to have a shot at a playoff spot. Right now, they are 3.5 games out of 4th place. 4.5 games back might be a little too much to overcome. In a minute or two, I'll check out Thursday's scores, look at the current standings, and get tonight's game started. But first, I'd like to ask you to hear about the Sunbelt College Baseball League sponsors and ask you to support them as they support us. We encourage you to do business with these sponsors, but even if you don't, please at least let them know that you appreciate their support of the Sunbelt College Baseball and this webcast of the games. Tonight's game is being brought to you in part by Elite Sporting Goods, Pima County's Kino Sports Complex, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Casal Fire Protection Company, Stop and Go Driving School, Goliath Auto Sales, the Rincon Financial Group, Jimmy John's Restaurants, Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites, Firestone Complete Auto Care, and by Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at 22nd and Calm. Just a quick note, if you'd like to see any of the games webcast this year, just go to YouTube, search the Alan Scott channel, that's A-L-L-E-N, and Scott with 2 T's, Alan Scott channel. Click on the icon and scroll down to the game that you'd like to see. Well, as I mentioned on tonight's schedule, we're about ready to watch the Aztecs and the BNL Rockets. Last night, it was the Cochise Stars with a 12-4 win over the Old Pueblo Kings. Team Tucson dropped a 4-2 count to the BNL Rockets that we'll be seeing here tonight. In the standings, it's the Aztecs by 2 games over the BNL Rockets. Then in third spot, the Cochise Stars 2.5 back. In fourth spot, Team Tucson 5.5 out of first place. Old Pueblo Kings 9 games back, and they are tied with the Tucson Champs also at 9 games back. And then the Rincon Knights are in the cellar. They're 10.5 games back. We're about ready to go here, but first off, let's pick up the music of the playing of our national anthem. Going to check the umpires for tonight's game. Behind the plate will be Rod Allen, and at the bases will be Ray Encinas. The Aztecs have a formidable batting average as a team, and the young man who's going to try to squish that is number 21, Trey Mesa. We'd love to give you some statistics on this, but unfortunately we've had problems connecting with the on-site electronic scoring and gathering some sort of cumulative stats through the years. So we've had to hand enter a lot of stuff, and they stuck with the offensive side. They will get the pitchers done a little bit later, so that's where we stand with that. In the red tops and kind of bluish middle and the white pants are going to be the BNL Rockets. The Rockets are currently on a 3-game winning streak. They're 2 games back of first place, as I mentioned. And the Aztecs, that will be coming up in the Netherlands orange, that is the country's color in the Netherlands. Why I know that is only because we used to take in boarders, and we had several from the Netherlands. So whenever it's the Queen's birthday, much like it is in England, everybody gets dressed up in orange, and that is the national color. I don't know why I brought that up. It has no significance here. But anyway, the Aztecs are 14-3. They are in first place, and they are on a 7-game winning streak. Jacob Hakomi will be the leadoff hitter. He's the second baseman. Stockton Pringle, the left fielder, in second spot. And Angel Ochoa is the shortstop, and he will be the third batter up. So we're about ready to go. Trey Mesa ready to throw the first pitch, and Jacob Hakomi looking at the first pitch high and inside for a ball. Hakomi in the stadium has a .320 batting average as he steps in there. Next pitch fouled off to the screen, and 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the BNL Rockets have become quasi-famous around the stadium here for playing very, very shallow, especially in center and right. Outside corner for a called strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. So out in right field is Seth Nager, and in center field, Ryan Graybosch. Graybosch lots of times is in right field, and he plays even more shallow. This one inside for a ball, and will go 2-2. In left field is Mario Corrales, who was on the mound last night, or actually the night before last, and did a fine job for BNL as they picked up a victory here in the stadium. Checking the infield for the Rockets, it's Jesus Lopez at third, Jorge Bajorquez at short. Adam Belloc is at second base. At least that's what we were told originally. Somebody else said that they didn't know whether he was going to make it or not, so we'll have to check and see if he is in fact in the lineup. On first base is 44 Evan Falwell. Little conference between the catcher Kiko Romero. Romero behind the plate the other night got lit up and had to leave in the top of the first inning. Then the next game that we saw him in, he played center field, but he's back behind the plate now. Kiko was a player of the week a couple of weeks back, had an outstanding offensive record here, and so we're standing around waiting for something to go on here, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. Might be the trainer coming down to the home team dugout. Again, not exactly sure what the holdup is here, but they are going to hold the game for a minute. The home plate umpire, Ron Allen, is over there. And like I said, we don't have any communications with down there, so we will just let that go for the moment. Check and see here some of the players to watch out for on the Aztecs team. They've had good seasons here in the stadium. That would be Angel Ochoa. He is at shortstop tonight. Alex Bustamante is also a player that has done a fine job. He's in right field for the Aztecs. And Michael Seaz has been at second base, but apparently he has not reported in, so we will wait and see whether we actually have Belloc out there or Seaz as we are trying to get underway. I'm not exactly sure. Again, the trainer or somebody is over there near the home team dugout. and doing some look-see about what's going on. I didn't see, maybe on the foul tip, Ron Allen, the umpire, may have been caught on the hand or something like that. Well, I tell you what, those catchers and home plate umpires get beaten up pretty bad sometimes. Players to watch out for on the BNL Rockets: Jesus Lopez, who tonight is at third base. Jorge Bjorkas is their shortstop, and he's done a fine job in appearances here in the stadium, as has Kiko Romero, who happens to be behind the plate tonight, and also compiling decent numbers here in the stadium, Seth Nager, and he tonight is in right field. Lots of times he is in center field. So apparently there was some sort of equipment situation with the home plate umpire, and he has since gone back to behind the plate, as you possibly can see. We probably do a little more radio type announce here with the ball game, because I know that a lot of people do just listen in. So if I'm saying something and you're looking and they're going, I know that, it's very obvious, why, that's the reason for it. We kind of go halfway. This one lifted off to the right side, and it will get out of play. Bounces back into the Aztecs dugout. And we'll go to the sixth pitch of the at-bat, interrupted somewhat. Also mentioned that first and second base, as per usual at this time of the evening, is struggling with the sun, as is the right fielder Nager. 2-2 pitch. This one fouled into the screen on the right side. And the seventh pitch of the at-bat will come up with everything 2-2. This is the leadoff hitter in the top of the first inning for the Aztecs and the BNL Rockets here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. And if you happen to be in the area, come on down. Very nice evening here. This is wrapped down towards the third baseman, and under his glove, Jesus Lopez. So we'll look and see if they pick up an error on that one, and he does. So first batter is on via an error. That's one of the things that has been a little troubling here in the Sun Belt League this year, the number of errors. Now, that being said, because of the heat of the day, not a lot of infield and practice time is available. So it might be that these players are just a little bit rusty when they come into the ball game here. This is Stockton Pringle, fouls off the first pitch. Stockton is in left field tonight and comes into the stadium with a .296 batting average and a runner on first, just getting underway here. The lights are on. They put them on early because with these kinds of lights, it takes them a while to actually warm up. Big swing on a high fastball and a missed. And Stockton Pringle is down 0-2. The on-deck hitter is Angel Ochoa, the shortstop. Not much of a lead at first base. First baseman Falwell now in the shade. This one fouled off to the right side and will stay with 0-2. The superstructure of the stadium does block the sun pretty quickly later in the first inning or even into the second inning. Right now, Nager in right field is in the shadows. So the sun problem goes away pretty quickly. Outside corner for a called strike, and that will be the first strikeout recorded by Trey Mesa. And that will bring up Angel Ochoa with A.J. Ram, the next hitter. The first four hitters sporting batting averages of .320, .296, .355, and .462. So the Aztecs, a fairly potent offensive club. Many of their players come from Pima Community College. The Pima Aztecs have a fine baseball program over there, and they have gathered about 19 of them to be exact here on this Aztec team. And they are currently league leaders. Down low for a ball. The base runner at first base, Jacob Hakami, on by error, is being challenged by the sun a little bit as he holds his hand up trying to keep the sun out of his eyes to make sure that Mesa doesn't make a quick move over there. 1 ball count, foul to the right side. I know our camera angle doesn't pick it up very well, but as you can see, we have no seats in the outfield. Along the right field line, seats go all the way down to the right field foul pole On the left side, there is structure all the way down to the foul pole, but the last section is grass, and that will be loaded on the 4th of July with people coming to watch the fireworks and the ball game. Down low for a ball, 2-1. Also on the 4th of July, we'll have folks scattered around on that outfield grass as well. In previous years, we've had 8,000 to 10,000 people here for an all-star game and a 25 to 30-minute fireworks show. This one hop out towards the second baseman who can't handle it, and it looks like we're going to have a second error come in here. Still don't know who is at second. Number 24 is at second base, and for the BNL Rockets, number 24 is Tyler Wiltshire. So 2 consecutive errors put runners on first and second. So apparently Adam Belloc did not make the show. First pitch fouled off. Now I'm not sure whether it was the catcher's mask or the umpire's mask, but one or the other of them got rattled just a little bit. A.J. Ram is the hitter in center field tonight. He is batting .462, so you can see they don't need to aid the Aztecs by making errors. This one hit straight away center field. Coming in hard is the center fielder who gets it on a hop. That is Ryan Graybosch. He got a little bit of a late start. I don't know whether the sun bothered him or not. The sun would be looking off to his right, and he kind of hesitated when the ball was hit, but that will load him up. So that will bring up the backstop for the Aztecs, Sal Escarilla. He is the catcher tonight, batting .217 outside for a ball. So right away, Trey Mesa in a problem, and that problem mostly created by his defense. 2 errors and a base hit have loaded the bases here in the top of the first inning. At the set, started to pull the trigger but didn't go on a breaking pitch that catches the outside corner for a strike, 1-1. Alex Bustamante is in the on-deck circle, he of the .381 batting average. So Mesa is not having any easy shots here. The ball gets away from the catcher, Romero, who reacts very quickly, gets over there and corrals it, keeping the runners all in their current positions, third, second, and first. Romero has done a fine job behind the plate, and a couple of times he's been in the field, not only as an infielder but an outfielder as well. 2 balls and a strike, no place to put them. They're loaded. This one ripped foul left side into that grassy area. And the count will go to 2-2. Mesa had a 2-2 count on the leadoff hitter, Hakimi, and an error by the third baseman. Then there's one out there, a strikeout looking. Then another error and a base hit have loaded him up with 1 out here in the top of the first. Going over to check on something, and it looks like Sal Escarilla is grabbing another bat. I don't know if he broke the last one or not, or just didn't like the feel of it. But up he comes with new lumber. Count will remain 2-2. No breeze tonight. The flag is hanging completely limp, not only the one in center field, but the one in left field. At the set, 2-2 count. Down low for a ball. (3-2). 1 out, so there'll be no release the pitch movement here. First baseman and second baseman still in the sunlight. 3-2. Down low for a ball. And that will walk in a run. A run batted in, credited to Escarilla. And everybody will move up 90. Coming across to score one of the errors, Jacob Hakami. Moving over to third is Angel Ochoa. And to second base is A.J. Rom. Alex Bustamante looks at the first pitch that is out of the strike zone. Alex is in right field tonight, and as I mentioned, his stadium batting average is .381. They're still loaded, one out, reaching out and fouling it to the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. This one hit out to right field, shallow. Coming on is Nager. He grabs it and will throw it home with a good, strong throw. It gets away from the catcher. There's going to be a close play at the plate, no play at all, and the run scores. So a fine throw by the right fielder, Seth Nager. And the ball gets away from the catcher. So whereas the runners weren't going to be moving at all, everybody moved up. Christopher Dunn stepping in there as the designated hitter. Going to have a courtesy runner for the catcher, Escariga, which is typical in the league. They want to have the catchers ready to go. I'm not sure who they're going to charge the error to. Without knowing, I'm going to give it to the catcher, Romero. He was kind of handcuffed with it. First pitch swinging is done and comes up with air. Runners on second and third, 2 runs in, top of the first inning. So Mesa has had his defense let him down. 3 errors in the inning, off-speed pitch high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Richard Ware is the on-deck hitter, another .300 hitter here in the stadium. Outside corner called strike 1 and 2. So 3 errors in the inning have brought across 2. Chris Dunn up there with an opportunity for 2 more. Big swing and a miss, and he is gone. Third out of the inning, 2 come across, and in those 2 coming across, only 1 hit was struck. So very frustrating for a starting pitcher, or any pitcher for that matter, no matter what you're talking about. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment and uniforms, as well as school uniforms. They also do company printing. They have a full range of services, including silk screening, embroidery, heat press, custom printing, banners, and more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there on South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web. Elite Sporting Goods. Got some information from out on field 4. They've had some fireworks to start things off. Nathan Baez hit a 2-run home run in the top of the first for the Tucson champs, and Joe Escariga just came back with a solo home run for the Kings. So at the end of 1, they already have 4 runs on the board, 3 for the champs and 2 for the Kings. Angel Castillo is on the mound for the Aztecs, and the first batter he faces is the center fielder Ryan Graybosch. First pitch is outside for a ball. Graybosch in his stadium appearances has a .333 batting average. Jorge Bajorquez, the shortstop, will be second up, .353. And Kiko Romero, .469, will be the third scheduled hitter of the evening. A high hopper to shortstop, coming hard on it is Ochoa, and he throws the ball low and away, but a nice job by Richard Ware to grab it and keep from starting the game off with an error for the Aztecs, as the BNL Rockets on their defensive side started things off with an error and wound up committing 3 errors in the inning. And that accounted for 2 runs for the Aztecs. Jorge Bajorquez, the shortstop, one of the players to watch for. He's done a fine job this year, way outside for a ball, as right off the bat, Castillo having trouble finding home plate with the first pitch. Got some cloudiness today in Tucson, Arizona. Outside corner just misses for a ball, 2-0. Normally we have fantastically clear skies, and today thunderstorms in the area. Nothing predicted right in this particular area. Wrapped down to third base. High hop to Alberto Leon. He throws it high to first base, but once again, the first baseman Ware is up to the task, goes up and gets it, keeps his foot on the bag, and we have 2 outs already here in the bottom of the first. 104 degrees was the high today at the airport in Tucson. That's about 5 miles to the southeast of us. Our perspective is looking northeast as Kiko Romero steps in outside for a ball. So the 3 first hitters thrown to by Castillo have looked at the first pitch ball. Makes a U out of Romero, and the count is 2-0. Looking at the infield, Alberto Leon at third, Ochoa at short. We'll get the rest of it in a second. High and away for a ball, and the count goes 3-0. At second base is Jacob Hakami. Richard Ware is at first. Behind the plate is Sal Escariga. One of his brothers hit one out over in the outer fields. 4-pitch walk puts a runner on with 2 outs. Looking at the outfield for the Aztecs, it's Pringle in left, Ram in center, and Bustamante in right. That'll bring up the first baseman for the Rockets, Evan Falwell. Falwell batting an even .300. Romero has pretty decent speed. Late swing for a swinging strike, 0-1. 2 runs on 3 errors and only 1 hit in the top of the first, bottom of the first inning. Runner on, 2 outs. Good move to first base. Not exactly sure that I'd want my pitcher to throw his A move this early in the game. You'd like to lull the runner to sleep a little bit over there. But with 2 outs, not a half bad idea to have the runner take off. He stays there. Ball is down low. The ball gets away from Romero. He corners it as Romero at first base almost took off. Escariga had the ball roll away from him. 1 ball and 1 strike now. So a little problem with the dropsies tonight. Runner stays. Pitch is hit solidly left field. Back for it is Pringle. Back, and it's gone. Well, there's your equalizer right there. 2-run home run ties it up here in the bottom of the first inning. So that is a counteraction to the errors, the equalizer, the home run. Evan Falwell put it over the left field bullpen. And straight away to left field, it's 375, so I'm going to guess that thing probably went 390 as it landed just below the scoreboard on the berm in left field. That'll bring up Preston Clifford, who is batting .500 here in the stadium. Preston is 12 for 24 in his appearances here. First one is fouled off, and that may have nicked Escariga. I think the umpire got stung earlier, like the first or second pitch, and went over and had some attendance from the trainer that they have here. 0-1 count, all knotted up at 2 via the home run. So we've had 3 home runs in the league already, and not even out of the first inning, outside for a ball. Mentioned that out in the outer fields in the game between the Tucson Champs and the Old Pueblo Kings, they had 2 home runs in the first inning out there, one for one side and one for the other. Ball. 2-1 the count. And we just see Evan Falwell chase it downtown. Tight inside, 3-1. Falwell goes to Minot State. He is one of 3 players from Minot State in Minot, North Dakota. Kind of makes me smile, the number of players in sunny southern Arizona that are playing in climes that would be considered rather cool. Seth Nader stepping in, he of the .462 batting average here in the stadium. A runner on, 2 outs, as Castillo got the first 2 batters he faced, then walked the third batter on 4 pitches, strike at the knees, and then had a 1-1 count to Evan Falwell and left one out over the plate, and Evan left one out on the roadway. Well, it didn't quite make it that far, but punched it out there pretty well. And we're all tied up at 2-2. Big swing, nothing there but air, and Seth is down 0-2. Now, from a strategy standpoint, this is not a bad idea with what you might consider to be a waste pitch coming up there, either a breaking pitch or one out of the strike zone, to go and send Clifford from first base. He stays there, though. This one hit high, foul, right side, giving chase to it, and it's landing up into the stands. Hakami, the second baseman, and Bustamante, the right fielder, gave a good hard look at it. Normally with an 0-2 pitch, you'd rather not get it anywhere where the batter can put a bat on it. But these are young pitchers and young players, and they need to be schooled a little bit that way. Seth Nager 0-2, and we'll watch Preston Clifford at first to see if he tries to take advantage of what might be an off-speed pitch and therefore get into scoring position. Nope, he stays home. Pitch was way outside, and Escariga would have had a tough time getting out there, getting his feet set and throwing it successfully to second. But the BNL Rockets decided not to chance it right there. And we'll go 1-2, way outside again. 2-2 the count. "23rd pitch of the inning coming up here. Trey Mesa, and having some errors committed behind him, threw 30 pitches in the first inning. This one lifted shallow. The third baseman trying to catch up with it. It didn't really have enough height to allow Alberto Leon to get there, so it's just nothing but a strike. And we'll go to the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Two count, 2 outs, 1 on, runner on first base. Leon at third was well back and had a long way to come to have a chance at that. Inside, misses. Strikeout. That's going to be the first strikeout for Castillo, but he did not escape the scoreboard. A 2-run home run by Evan Falwell, and at the end of 1 full inning of play, our score is 2-2. Well, it needs to be Kino Stadium for the 4th of July, and I'll tell you why. They're going to be a spectacular fireworks show, 25 to 30 minutes. That will follow an all-star game of 7 innings. Now, the game starts at 6:30, but the most important thing is that the gates will open at 5. Now, in opening at 5, there will be dollar hot dogs, giveaways, kids' fun zone with games, music, and much more. All of this for just $4. Now, if you get advance tickets, either buying them here at the stadium or at the Kino Sports Complex office or at Pizza Hut, Food City, or the Cactus Bowling Alley, you not only get admission for $4, but you get free parking. Kino Stadium, 4th of July, gates open at 5, game starts at 6:30, and I suspect the fireworks will be around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So make your plans to be here, 4th of July, Kino, Veterans Memorial Stadium. Well, each team with a total of 1 hit, each team with a total of 2 runs. As we go to the top of the second, it's Richard Ware, the first baseman, first pitch swinging and fouls it off to the stands along the right side. And that will bring up Alberto Leon in the second spot. And Joseph Discochia is in the 10th spot. Yes, we do have 10 hitters here. Screwball, or rather a slider, floats up high. And Richard Ware is 1-1. Angel Castillo threw 30 pitches in that first inning. This one, a high hopper pounded into the ground. It'll be the shortstop Ochoa with no prayer. Gets it to first, and Richard Ware, with a very athletic move, keeps that ball from going into the stands or into the dugout. So the second base hit of the ball game given up by Castillo, and that'll bring up Alberto Leon. He has a .227 batting average. Leon, the third baseman tonight. Nobody is looking for a bunt. This one hit hard, deep, back to center. Graybosch, one hops the wall. This will score a run. And Leon cruises into second base with an RBI double. So an RBI double breaks the tie here as we are in the top of the second inning, and it goes 3-2 in favor of the Aztecs at this time, and that will bring up Joseph Discochia. He is the extra hitter. So scoring all the way from first base on the ball that carried well, and of course with the nice warm air here in Tucson, those baseballs will carry well. Throw to second base, they got him. So Leon was kind of celebrating his double and got a little too far off the base. A nice coordination between the pitcher Mesa and the shortstop Bajorquez. And the 1-6 out is the first out of the inning. And this is the first pitch to Discochia outside for a ball. Well, that's your rally killer right there, picking somebody off. I couldn't tell whether that was something that was called from, say, the catcher on a count move inside. The way that works is that the catcher gives a sign that both the shortstop and the pitcher see, and then they both start counting, and at the count of 3, everybody makes a move without the pitcher ever looking back at second base. Outside corner for a strike, 2 balls and a strike. So 2 base hits here in the second inning after only one got the Aztecs 2 runs in the first. Misses outside. The ball gets past Romero. nobody on, so no advancement. Hakami is the on-deck hitter. He got on an error in the first and came around to score in a combination of an error and a base hit, strike. Take that back, it was a ball. Or did I lose track of something here? Oh well, 3-2. Of course, I never make mistakes up here. 3-2, nobody on, one out. This one wrapped foul right side. Seventh pitch of the at-bat coming up. Used to tell my students that I never made mistakes when I made one. Took them a while to finally go, oh, Mr. Scott. This one wrapped towards the hole and through into left field. And 3 base hits in a row. A single, a double, and a single has netted 1 run. Not sure if that base hit would have brought Leon around from second, but that is a moot point because he was picked off for the first out of the inning. And we'll go to the top of the order. Jacob Hakami and Stockton Pringle are the next 2 hitters. Hakami is up there right now, high for a ball. In the first, Hakami got on an error. Went to second base on the error to Ochoa. Ochoa getting on, rather, through an error. Once again, Trey Mesa having a little trouble finding the plate. Is behind 2-0. Hakami got around to third on the base hit by A.J. Ram. 3-0 now. And then came home on the error by the catcher. 3-0 the count, runner on first. Doesn't move. Misses, 4-pitch walk. Another runner in scoring position. And that will bring up Stockton Pringle. He took a called third strike in the first inning. So with 1 out and runners on second and on second and first. Little conversation between Romero and Mesa. So the long ball has done it for the Aztecs. And the errors by the Aztecs have done it for the BNL Rockets. Kind of an open stance for Pringle. Does a fairly decent job of correcting that and stepping back at the pitcher. First pitch out of the strike zone, 1-0. Long look at second, comes to the plate, misses outside. And for the third batter in a row now, Mesa's behind 2-0. That one on the knees for a called strike, 2-1. Light's beginning to take over here. Cloudy skies in Tucson, Arizona, but still very, very warm. This one lifted high to center field, going back for it is Graybosch. Looks like he has a line on it. He drops it. Actually couldn't even find it for some reason. He was positioned about 5 feet to the left of where the ball actually fell down. So maybe the lights are a combination of the high sky or something. Whatever, he never touched it. He was within 5 feet of it, looking up like he had it in his hip pocket, and all of a sudden the ball dropped about 5-6 feet in front of him and to his left. So you've got to give that a base hit, And because the runners had to hold up to see what was going to happen, they only moved up 90 feet. The batter is Ochoa, first pitch swinging on a strike or a ball that was out of the strike zone. And the bases are loaded. Very interesting turn of events here, as Graybosch seemed to have himself planted right under the ball. Outside corner for a called strike, 0-2 to Angel Ochoa. So miscalculations and errors have been the bugaboo of the BNL Rockets this evening. To the plate, swung on, hit into the stands on the right side. Count will remain 0-2. A.J. Ram is the on-deck hitter. No place to put him, but right now, Mesa has the controlling count 0-2. This one hit to the hole, but through, picked up by the third baseman, and to second for one, and back to first, not in time. Kind of a critical situation there, because had the play been in time, the run would not have counted. But as it turns out, Ochoa drives the second run in here in the top of the second inning, and will wind up with runners on first and third with now 2 outs. The third baseman, Lopez, thought sure it was going to go through, and he got over there and got it. High and away to A.J. Ram for a ball. Ram got a base hit in the first inning, but all that did was load him up. A walk brought in 1 run, and of course the error brought in the other one. Way outside, reaching out to get it is Romero, and the count goes to 2-0. This is the 4th time in the inning that Mesa has been behind 2-0. At the set, this one lifted high to the right side. Drifting over for it is Nager in right field, and he grabs it and brings it in, and that is the final out of the inning. But 2 more come across, and after 1.5, our score is the Aztecs 4 and the BNL Rockets 2. Cazal has been a leader in all aspects of fire protection since 1982. Cazal Fire Protection services home and business locations by providing design, planning, and management of your fire protection needs. Cazal has an extensive knowledge in fire protection and works hard to keep their fine reputation. Look online to find Cazal Fire Protection Company, first in quality, serving with pride. Stepping in is Jesus Lopez, the third baseman tonight. Swings at an outside pitch and misses it. Then I believe the next hitter is going to be number 24, and that is Tyler Wiltshire. We were originally given another player to bat in that spot, so we'll keep an eye out there. This one topped kind of a swinging bunt. Over to get it is Castillo, and he gets it over to first in time for the out. First out of the bottom of the second inning. Well, the Aztecs were out the first two players in the inning, and then they started their onslaught, and the same thing happening here for the BNL Rockets in the first inning. This one's sky high. Back to look for it is Escachilla, and he grabs a hold of it. So first pitch swinging, a big high pop out, and that will be the second out of the bottom of the second inning. The hitter was, in fact, Wiltshire. Tyler Wiltshire is at second base tonight for the BNL Rockets. First pitch to Mario Corrales, the left fielder, is a called strike. So a couple outs, nobody on. A bounding ball out to Hakami at second base, and talk about a 1-2-3 inning. 5 pitches in the inning after having thrown 24 in the top of the first inning, or the bottom of the first inning. So that will make 29 pitches total, and 5 is a beautiful number for any pitcher to get out of an inning. After 2 innings of play, it is the Aztecs 4 and the BNL Rockets 2. O'Reilly Chevrolet would like to have you know about their 95th anniversary tent sale. It's one heck of a sale. It's going to go through the end of the month. Hurry on down there to get 20% off MSRP on the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs on the lot. So the sale, the best place to go, 6160 East Broadway. O'Reilly Chevrolet, they're the good folks that know how to provide the best in sales and service. O'Reilly Chevrolet. Start off with the catcher, Saul Escarilla. He'll be followed by Alex Bustamante and then Chris Dunn. Trey Mesa to the plate. First pitch smacked out to right field. Seth Nager gets a late jump on it, and it'll roll all the way to the fence. He gets it back in, and a leadoff double for the catcher. Normally they send out a pinch runner for the catcher, so we'll see if they do that at this time. As a matter of fact, they do, and trotting out to take his place will be Michael Seas. So Alex Bustamante will now step up and try to pick up the run there, as the Aztecs put 2 on in the first and 2 on in the second. The first, it was a plethora of errors, and in the second, it was a onslaught of hits. And so we'll see how they handle things here in the third inning. Pitch inside to Bustamante, the right fielder. Misses. Almost did not miss his chin. 8 for 21, actually 8 for 22 now in the stadium appearances. This one extra high, and a 2-0 count. Trey had some problems in the top of the second inning with 2-0 counts, and it was during that period of time that he gave up 2 more runs. This one out of the strike zone high, and we'll go 3-0. First base is open, but you certainly do not want to get things going that way in the early going here and down 4-2. Move to second base. The ball was right there, but not quite in time to catch Escaria's runner, Michael Seaz, who got back in under the tag. They worked that pickoff play on Alberto Leon, strike, 3-1. That happened in the second inning, the top of the second. Very alertly, Seaz just trotted over to third base, and Jesus Lopez, who has already committed an error this evening, made no move to go over there and try to cover. So I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but unfortunately for the BNL Rockets, they're going to come out and the coach is going to talk about, hey, how about paying attention to what's going on here? 3-0 count, or rather 3-1 count to Bustamante, and we will see what happens on the 3-1 pitch. More than likely, after that mental lapse, got a runner over to third. The BNL team manager went out there and said, all right, gentlemen, let's get real here. Falwell at first is on the grass. This one lifted to center field. Going back for it is Graybosch. He's done a fine job of getting behind it and getting the throw in, but it will not nearly be in time, as the sacrifice fly ball was deep enough to score a run, and we'll go 5-2 now, the Aztecs over the BNL Rockets. So an RBI sac fly. Bases are empty. There's one out in the inning, and Christopher Dunn comes up. Christopher was out on a swinging strike to end the inning in the first inning. Pitch misses outside for a ball. 1-0 count. Check and see some of the activities happening in the outer fields. Right down Main Street for a strike. The Tucson champs added another run in the third to make it 4-1 in the fourth inning. That one comes inside. Two balls and a strike. One out, one in. Top of the third. 2-1 count. High and away, 3-1. Mesa went 3-1 to Alex Bustamante, and he lifted a sacrifice fly to center field to get a run in. 3-1, big swing and a miss. Looks like he took a little bit off the fastball there. Top of the fourth inning, Cochise Stars 4-2 over the Rincon Knights, and the bottom of the fourth, as we mentioned, Tucson champs 4-1 over the Kings. It is 5-2 Aztecs here at the stadium. 3-2 count with nobody on. Got a walk out of it. And that'll bring up Richard Ware. Richard Ware, one of the 19 players committed to or playing for Pima Community College. Richard has shown some very fine defensive skills in the ball games that we've seen here at Kino Stadium. First pitch swinging, the ball gets away from Romero, Strong throw to second, but offline, and the runner will advance. Everybody tonight, maybe because of the very warm temperatures, just doesn't quite seem on. So a runner on second base, a strike count to Ware. This one in the dirt also gets away from Romero, and the runner will move up to third. Wild pitch, well, first off, a pass ball gets him to second, a wild pitch gets him to third. And Ware, coming into the ball game, batting .318 in his stadium appearances, got a base hit and came around to score in the second inning, and is 1-1 here in the top of the third with one out. This one lifted down near the foul line in right field. Getting over and coming a long way to do so is Nader, and he fires one on line, and that holds the runner at third base. Fine play by Nader as he came a long way to get that and then timed it just perfectly with his catch and throw that had his momentum going towards home plate and held the runner up so that they didn't score a second one here in the top of the third. Alberto Leon, the third baseman, stepping in there. He got an RBI double in the second inning, outside corner for a called strike. Graduated just recently from Sajarito High School down south of here. Slider strikes in for a called strike. 0-2. Now in the league, not only college freshmen and sophomores, but recently graduated high school players. This one hit solidly towards center field. Graybosch hesitated for just a second and then finally found it and records the line drive out for the third out of the inning. One run does come across in the top of the third, and after 2.5 innings of play, it is the Aztecs 5 and the BNL Rockets 2. The top Tucson driving school is Stop and Go Driving School. Learning to drive is not just something you do to pass your test and get your license. The real reason you do it is to make sure that you're safe on the road. Hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents happen every year, and many of them are fatal. With the Stop and Go Driving School expert teachers, you'll be best placed to keep yourself safe. Certified driver's education courses are available at Stop and Go Driving School. Edwin Martinez will lead it off here. Looks at the first pitch on the inside corner for a called strike. Coming into the inning, Castillo, after throwing 24 pitches in the first inning and only 5 in the second, has a total of 29, catches that inside corner for a second time. Edwin Martinez is the 10th hitter in the lineup. He is the designated hitter, comes into the game with his stadium batting average of .286. Castillo with a waste pitch outside. Angel gave up a walk and then a home run in the first inning that tied everything up at 2-2. Then his teammates got him 2 in the top of the second inning and 1 here. This one fouled into the grassy area along the left field line. Castillo coming into the inning has retired 4 in a row. He had a 3-up, 3-down inning last inning, second inning. This one sliced into the stands more shallow. And we'll go to the 6th pitch of the at-bat with the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ryan Graybosch is the next scheduled hitter, followed by Jorge Bajorquez, the shortstop. Everybody pretty much squared away in the outfield and medium deep. Reaches out and files this one into the screen. So the more pitches that a batter can see from a pitcher, they say that the advantage goes to the batter. That's, I believe, if the batter can stay relaxed and not go fishing after whatever he can go after. 1-2, this one he swings at. It gets away from the catcher, Escarilla, and goes all the way to the backstop. So we will have a swinging strikeout, and the runner gets on first because the ball got away from the catcher. So we'll go to Graybosch and the top of the order for BNL. Ryan started off the game with a ground out to the shortstop, Angel Ochoa. Graybosch going to Central Arizona University. That's about 50 miles south of here in Casa Grande, Arizona. And Ryan is a graduate just this last May of South Point. Looks at the first pitch as a ball. South Point has a very fine baseball program, and they have a lot of players in this league, and a lot of them are ticketed for different universities. Hammered into the ground, headed down towards third, and unfortunately, Leon has to let it roll, hoping that it'll go foul because he had no play on it. And as it turned out, the ball got all the way out to the bag, hit the bag, therefore making it a fair ball. So Leon at third base was really handcuffed with that one. That will bring up the shortstop, Jorge Bajorquez. Bajorquez grounded off to Leon in the first inning, 5-3. So nobody out here by virtue of a strikeout and getting on first. One hop out to the second baseman, Hakomi, and he snags it, gets it over to the shortstop, and on to first base for a double play. Boy, I tell you, Hakomi short-handed that or short hop that, came up with it, and got the out, but the runner does move over to third base. However, 2 outs and a very fine play by Hakomi. That was a do or die, the ball on a short hop. Kiki Romero stepping in there and fouls the first pitch off. Kiki got a walk, actually a 4-pitch walk in the first inning, and then Evan Falwell stepped right in and planted a 1-1 pitch over the left field wall. Too low for a ball, 1 ball and 1 strike. So what looked like a promising rally there was distinguished or extinguished by a double play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner on third, a couple of outs here via that double play. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Had a notion it was outside, and it evens up at 2-2. Each team got 2 runs in the first, but the Aztecs got 2 in the second and 1 in the third. Outside, full count. This inning started off for the BNL Rockets rather promisingly. Strikeout, and it gets to first base because the ball rolled all the way to the backstop. And then a base hit, so runners on first and second and nobody out. But that was taken care of rather quickly by a fine play by Hakami at second. 3-2 count, obviously first base open. Big swing, doesn't come up with anything but air. Third out of the inning. And in the inning, nothing across. And after 3 full innings of play, it is the Aztecs 5 and the BNL Rockets 2. Come see the difference at Goliath Auto Sales. They're the no-pressure used car dealership at 5170 North La Cholla Boulevard in Tucson. Now, one of their recent customers, John of Tucson, was kind enough to write in a letter that said it was the most painless deal I ever had buying a car. I would highly recommend Goliath Auto Sales. For value pricing and affordable vehicles, make sure you check out Goliath Auto Sales. New pitcher will be stepping in for the BNL Rockets. This is Marco Osuna. And Osuna will be facing the 10th man in the order. Throws him a high fastball. Joseph Dicochia is the extra hitter. He got a base hit and came around to score in that 2-run second inning for the Aztecs. In the ball game, the starter, Trey Mesa, had problems getting behind 2-0 through 72 pitches, gave up 5 runs on 6 hits, got only 1 strikeout, and walked 4 batters in his 3 innings of work. 1 ball and 1 strike. Osuna at the set. This one a 2-hopper out to Bajorquez at short. He double pumps and gets it over to first for the first out of this, the top of the 4th inning. That will bring up the top of the order, Jacob Hakami, who really had a fine play at second base to be able to start a double play that held the BNL Rockets off the board in the bottom of the 3rd inning, is here in the top of the 4th. High and away for the ball, and that will have Scott Pringle as the on-deck hitter. Hakami got on an error and scored in the 1st inning, and got on a walk in the 2nd inning. Had a notion, stays off of it. The ball rides high for a 2-0 count. This one also stays upstairs, 3-0. Hakami graduated from Volcano Vista High School, that is not in the area to my knowledge. Outside corner for a called strike. Interestingly enough, Jacob played for the Hub City Hotshots last baseball season, and that is in Aberdeen, South Dakota, which is where Presentation College is, called strike high on the letters, but called anyway. Presentation College, interestingly enough, has 6 players on the Old Pueblo Kings team, 5 of those players from southern Arizona, and they're playing in a place that has sub-zero temperatures frequently during the winter. Way outside. So a 6-pitch walk, the second walk in a row given up to Hakami. And with 1 out and a runner on, that will bring up Stockton Pringle, the left fielder. Pringle got a base hit in the second inning. Struck out looking in the fourth. Nate Baez is 3 for 3, and all he needs is a triple to complete the cycle. First pitch to Stockton Pringle is a called strike. And all of that action happening out with the Tucson Rockets, or rather the Team Tucson. This one fouled off to the right side, so Pringle is behind 0-2. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Tucson champs 5-1 over the Kings. In the bottom of the 4th, it is the Cochise Stars 4-2 over the Rincon Knights. Next pitch is a ball. And here in Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, top of the 4th inning, it is the Aztecs 5 and the BNL Rockets 2. The Aztecs are up with 1 out and a runner on first. This one, a high hopper to the shortstop. Bajorquez grabs it, takes the unassisted out at second base, and guns the ball to first base to complete the double play. So, without regard to the fact that we have seen a total of 3 errors, all that happening in the first inning, turned in by the BNL Rockets. They have certainly come up strong here defensively, and they get out of the inning. So basically 3 up, 3 down, courtesy of the double play. Nothing across for the Aztecs in the top of the 4th inning. And after 3.5 innings of play, it is the Aztecs 5 and the BNL Rockets 2. The Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals' unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Financial Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today and tomorrow. What goal do you have? Retirement preparation, college savings, maybe estate strategy? Well, the personalized services of the Rincon Financial Group is ready to focus on your needs, wants, and financial goals. The Rincon Financial Group. First pitch to the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 4th inning, Evan Falwell, is a ball. Second pitch also misses. Angel Castillo is out there for his 4th inning of work, leading 5-2. Big swing on an outside pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Falwell, he of a 390-plus foot home run in the first inning that tied things up 2-2. Nobody on in this particular case. Falwell came into the ballgame batting an even .300. Hammers one into the ground right in front of home plate, and it skirts off to the left side just a little bit, and will go 2-2. Falwell, one of 3 players going to Minot State. That is in Minot, North Dakota. And that kind of emphasizes what I said. This one dribbled back towards the pitcher. Castillo grabs it and throws to first base, almost throws it away. Nice job by Richard Ware to grab the ball just in front of the on-rushing Falwell and record the out. Castillo very lackadaisically came off the mound to gather that ball up. But even though it didn't look real pretty, got the out. First out in the bottom of the 4th. Preston Clifford, who got a walk in the first inning, steps in there. Preston batting an even .500 here in his stadium appearances. 24, check that, 12 of 24. So his .500 batting average is not bothered by the walk in the first inning. Second pitch misses. And for the second batter in a row, Castillo is behind 2-0. This one is a called strike, 2-1. Preston Clifford goes to New Mexico State. He's a graduate of Sabino High School just this last May. Way outside, 3-1. New Mexico State in Las Cruces, New Mexico. So he will be starting off there as a freshman. On the letters for a called strike, 3-2. Castillo walked 2 in the first inning. One of them hurt him bad. That was just before the home run. This one way outside. So that is the 3rd walk given up by the starting pitcher for the Aztecs. And that will bring up Seth Nager. Nager struck out swinging in the first inning. So with 1 out and 1 on in the bottom of the 4th, the right fielder Nager will come up there. We've seen Nager in all 3 outfield positions this year. This one fisted out towards second. A one-hopper to Hakami, who gets it over to first base just in time. And that didn't look like it was going to be all that difficult, but that was a very, very difficult play for Hakami. He had to avoid the runner going to second, grab the ball on a short hop, the second fine short hop play that Hakami has turned in tonight, and just got over to first base and snagged at Nager by a whisker. Runner in scoring position, but 2 outs, and that brings up Jesus Lopez. Lopez, big swing, missed it. In the second inning, he dribbled one back to Castillo, who got him out at first base. Couple of outs, a runner in scoring position, and the BNL Rockets could certainly use the help with some sort of outfield knock. This one fouled at the plate. Came off of Lopez's right leg, kind of walking it off there. So no balls and 2 strikes, a couple of outs in the bottom of the 4th. Angel Castillo on the mound came into this inning throwing 44 pitches. That's probably gone up by at least 10. Big swing, and that's the end of the inning. Strikeout will be the second for Castillo, and that will end the inning with nobody coming across. So after 4 full innings of play, it is the Aztecs 5 and the BNL Rockets 2. Your Jimmy John's restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area know how much you care about freshness. That's why that they spend hours in preparation every day just to make your sandwich in just a very brief amount of time. You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Stop by a store, or you can order online if it's more convenient. Order online at jimmyjohns.com. On our way to the top of the fifth inning, checking on the outlying fields, the Tucson champs 5-1 in the top of the sixth inning over the Old Pueblo Kings. And Nathan Baez just needs a triple to complete the cycle. So he will have several more at-bats to be able to achieve that. First pitch swinging is Angel Ochoa, the shortstop for the Aztecs, misses it outside corner. Angel was on an error in that error-filled first inning that created 2 runs for the Aztecs and got them off and running. He was on a fielder's choice in the second inning. So he is 0 for 2 despite coming into the stadium performance with a .355 batting average. Next pitch is outside for a ball, 1-1. Marco Osuna, his second inning of work, he came in the top of the fourth inning. Outside for a ball, and we'll go 2-1. Osuna got a 3-up, 3-down inning despite the fact that he mixed in a walk there, but a fine play by the second baseman for them, 4-6-3 out, as Tyler Wiltshire really did an excellent job getting that ball around. 2-2 count now. This one hit sharply to the right of the second baseman, Wiltshire, and into right center field. It's hit strongly enough that it's going to make it all the way to the wall. Turning on the afterburners is Ochoa, and he is going to run it all the way home. The play at home and an inside-the-park home run. Inside the park home run, and that really was an interesting play in the fact that the ball was hit so sharply just to the right of the second baseman, Wiltshire. The center fielder, Graybosch, had swung over to the left side of the straightaway center, So as the ball dissected right in the middle of Graybosch and Nager, it got all the way to the wall, and the fleet-footed right fielder, check that, the fleet-footed shortstop, Angel Ochoa, legged it out for an inside-the-park home run. A.J. Ram will step in there. He is first pitch swinging, a strike. Second pitch, a strike. 0-2, he's behind. He got a base hit in the first inning and flew out to Seth Nader in right field in the second inning. So the BNL Rockets have a tendency to play very, very shallow. And that burned them right there because they had a long way to run from their shallow positions all the way out to the 390 mark in right center field to be able to get the ball back in. Actually, the play at the plate wasn't even that close, and an inside-the-park home run runs the Aztecs up to a 6-2 lead. 0-2 count on A.J. Ram. This one fouled off to the right side, so it'll go 0-2 with the fifth pitch of the at-bat. The ball was hit so sharply it didn't really get out of Wiltshire's reach by a whole lot, but it had plenty of leg to get all the way to that 390 mark, and as I mentioned, the shallow playing outfield of center and right hurt the BNL Rockets there. And the ball went all the way to the right center field wall, and they were unable to retrieve it and get it back in before the bases had been circumvented or circumnavigated. Swinging strike. First out of the top of the fifth inning. That's the first strikeout for Osuna. And that will bring up Saul Escarilla. Saul got a walk. It was actually an RBI walk on a bases loaded base on balls. First pitch to him, inside corner for a called strike. He got a double in the third inning and came all the way around to score when Alex Bustamante lifted a fly ball to center field and got a sacrifice fly RBI. Down low for the pitch. 2-1. One out here in the top of the fifth inning and one in already. Second home run we've seen. Boy, I tell you what, the home plate umpire got his bell rung on that one. Rod Allen took one completely straight off the face mask, and he will try to see if he can get the stars cleared out of his eyes here. That was a direct shot, and everybody is being very slow to do whatever they're going to do. Romero walks out to the pitcher's mound. The batter, Escarilla, kind of wanders around a little bit. And Mr. Rod Allen, behind the plate umpire, took one square on the mask. And, man, I don't care, mask or not, that will wake you up or put you to sleep one way or the other. Hit to the hole between short and third, and that will be a base hit. Second hit here in the fifth inning, and that will bring up Alex Bustamante. Bustamante, 2 flyouts. One of them won't count as an at-bat because the fly ball was a sacrifice fly and brought the runner down from third base. That ran the score up to 5-2. That was in the third inning. Then now in the fifth inning, 6-2. Rod Allen takes a second to go over and remind the players they need to be off the top step over there. Don't need to be on the top step, okay? Bustamante stepping in. This one lifted to center field. A late start by Graybosch. He catches it on the hop and then kicks it in front of him, so another base hit. First pitch swinging was Bustamante. Graybosch is normally in right field and seems to do a fine job over there. In center field, been a little bit late to respond on a couple of plays. And that one was a dying ball out to center field, and it bounced in front of the center fielder, Graybosch, and that'll put runners on first and second with only one out. Big swing by Christopher Dunn, the designated hitter, and he comes up with air. He struck out swinging in the first inning and got a walk in the third inning. Came into the stadium batting .368 in his stadium appearances. This one, another big swing, a high hopper out to the first baseman in some indecision, and just barely got the out unassisted at first base. For a second, Evan Falwell, the first baseman, looked towards third, thinking about trying to catch the replacement runner for Escamilla, who is Saez, over at third. He thought better of it, and don't think that he realized just how fast Christopher Dunn moved, and they almost lost the out at first base. But they got it, 2 outs, runners on second and third, and the batter is Richard Ware. Ware got a base hit in the second inning. First pitch to him outside corner for a strike. Ware came all the way around on a deep double by Adalberto Leon. And then in the third inning, Ware flew out to right field, looks at the next pitch approximately in the same place, and he is down 0-2. This one pounded into the ground. Off the mound is Osuna very quickly and gets the ball over to first base, and that will end the inning. One came across, and so the Aztecs have expanded their lead to 6-2 after 4.5 innings of play. The Aztecs 6 and the BNL Rockets 2. The Best Western Tucson International Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen TV. Many rooms have patio doors opening to a tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay, Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites. Set to go here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Squaring around to look like he was going to bunt is the second baseman Tyler Wiltshire, leading things off in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pitch was outside for a ball. This one fouled back to the screen, 1-1. Angel Castillo out there for his 5th inning of work. 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. This one wrapped hard down to third. Nice grab by Leon, and he gets it over to first base. Did an excellent job of short hopping that one, and it was a hot potato to handle. But Leon made it look like a big-time professional with short hopping it and getting it over first base. Mario Corrales is the hitter, the left fielder. He grounded out to Hakami in the 2nd inning. So just his 2nd time up here. And we are in the bottom of the 5th. High pitch for a ball. Coming into the inning, Castillo had 59 pitches and has only given up 2 hits. Next pitch is a ball. The only runs given up by Castillo on a walk, actually only 4-pitch walk, outside for a ball, 3-0. And the very next batter, Evan Falwell, jacked it out of the park. So those are the only 2 runs given up here by Castillo. And he starts off the second batter with a walk. So a 1-out base runner, and that'll bring up Edwin Martinez. Martinez is the designated hitter. He started off a rather promising-looking third inning for the BNL Rockets. He struck out, but the ball got away from the catcher, Escarilla, and Martinez got on first base. Then a base hit put runners on first and second, but the pitcher's friend, a double play on a nice play by the second baseman, Jacob Hakami, and then a strikeout ended the threat. This one lifted into left field for a base hit, so the runner will stop at second because the ball is in shallow left field, and Stockton Pringle got over there to gather it up to avoid any further advance, or I guess I should say farther advance. We're talking about distance by Mario Corrales. Runners on first and second now with 1 out, and we go to the top of the inning, or the top of the batting order. Ryan Graybosch. Graybosch, a base hit in the third and grounded out to the shortstop Ochoa in the first. Hesitates on a high fastball at the letters and a called strike. Outfielders medium deep for the Aztecs. Down low for a ball, 1-1. Infield of Leon at third, Ochoa at short, Hakami at second, Ware at first. Behind the plate is Escarilla. On the mound, Angel Castillo. And we'll check the outfield in a second. Look back at second to the plate. High hopper towards the third baseman, who tags the runner out and throws high to first base. Well, let's see. Now a ball is thrown away. Apparently he missed the runner in his attempt to tag him, and it looks like 2 will come across. Now what they're going to complain about, I would suspect, is that the runner going from second to third to avoid being tagged out by Leon went out of the baseline. That's what Castillo is complaining about. And Mike Odom comes back, and he just threw Castillo out of the ball game as the manager, Mike Odom, comes over to kind of visit about what's going on here. It would be hard to tell from the angle when you have only one umpire in the field as to whether the base runner went out of the base path. But that's the discussion that's going on. Frankly, I thought that he went out of the base path, and now they're going to have a conference. Mike Odom has asked that the base umpire and the home plate umpire discuss things. There was an errant throw to third. They had 2 runners at third for a moment. So we'll see how this thing sorts out. Anyway, Castillo is out for arguing whether the runner had gone out of the base paths. And that will bring in a new pitcher for the Aztecs. This is Travis Higdon. And I suspect that Travis will have more than just the ordinary 7 pitches to warm up. But that will be what the argument was. And apparently it's going to stand. So let's recap what happened there. Mario Corrales was going from second to third. Delibroto Leon at third cut between third base and shortstop and grabbed the ball just as Corrales, who was being forced to run from second, came towards him. Leon swiped at him. Corrales jumped out and away. I thought he went out of the base paths, but the umpire did not. And then Leon came up a little off balance from his swing at the runner and threw errantly to first base. So Graybosch will get on the error by the third baseman. He will then move around to second as Edwin Martinez and Corrales both got cornered at third base. The throw from first base, Richard Ware, to third base to try to get the run there went errantly. And so what we have is Graybosch is on second base, and both Corrales and Martinez have come in to score. Martinez on the error by the first baseman on the throw, and he went around to third base on the situation that was created when Corrales tried to avoid what was going on. And the upside of it, or the downside of it, is that Angel Castillo, who has been doing a relatively decent job on the mound tonight for the Aztecs, gets thrown out of the game for arguing the point about whether the runner went out of the base paths or not. So that brings in Travis Higdon, who will have an ample amount of time to warm up because he came off the bench. And it looks like he is getting close to being ready to go. So we have one out. We've got a runner on second. We've got two errors on the play, a two-base throwing error from the third baseman, and a one-base throwing error by Richard Ware, trying to get the runner going to third when they had two runners sitting over there not knowing exactly what was going on. So definitely a Keystone Cops movie there for a while. The problem is when you have these leagues with only two umpires, it's very, very hard to get the right angle. And I'm not really faulting Ray Encinas, who is the base umpire, but quite frankly, he was not in a position, and he was not out of position for two umpires, but he was not in a great position to be able to see whether the runner had gone out of the base paths to avoid the tag. So that's where we are here in the bottom of the the bottom of the fifth inning. 2 runs come across, and it is 6-4. The batter is the shortstop Jorge Bajorquez, and the first pitch to him by the relief pitcher is a ball. First base is open. Long look at second, and he comes to the plate at the knees for a called strike, 1-1. Have a pitcher moving down to the bullpen in right field. Right now his number is hidden by the stand, so we'll try to pick that up in a second. 1-1 pitch outside for a ball, 2-1. Can't see whether it's 1 or 11, so we'll try to confirm that in a second. 2-1 pitch. This one lifted straightaway center field, coming on his ram, but it falls in front of him for a base hit. And that's the second base hit of the inning that will send Graybosch over to third, and will bring up Kiko Romero, the catcher. Still trying to pick up a number in the right field bullpen. I believe that it is number 11, and that would be Levi White, who is listed as a pitcher. So we'll keep an eye on that. The runner goes from first. The throw to first is too late. Now the throw to third, and they've got the runner at third base hung up, and he is tagged out in a rundown. And so that will take away. So the play went from 1 to 3 to 5 for the out. That is the second out of the inning. Bojorquez, who took off early from first base, does wind up safely at second, so there's still a runner in scoring position, and nary a pitch to Romero, who takes the first pitch inside for a ball. So a very, very interesting inning here. 1 ball, no strikes, first base open, 2 outs. This one hit down to Leon at third. He gets it across for the final out of the inning, but not before 2 runs come across on one of the more unusual plays that you'll ever see in a baseball game. So after 5 full innings of play, it is the Aztecs 6 and the BNL Rockets 4. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire store in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in the store. There are 5 locations. Pick the one closest to you in the 2400 block of North First, 3501 East Broadway, 290 West Wetmore Road, 4800 block of East Sunrise, 7950 East Speedway. Anywhere that you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you will not be disappointed. Well, after a crazy top of the 6th inning, actually a crazy bottom of the 5th, 2 runs across for 4, we're going to go to the top of the 6th inning. Marco Osuna is still on the mound for the BNL Rockets. He came in the 4th inning. First pitch to the leadoff hitter, Alberto Leon, is high for a ball. Leon got an RBI double in the 2nd inning and ripped a line drive right at the center fielder, Ryan Graybosch, for a long, hard out. Second pitch to him is a ball, and it's 2-0. Dacochea is the next scheduled hitter, and then we'll go to the top of the order. Lifted high to right center field. Drifting over for it is Graybosch. He calls it all the way and takes it for the out. So a fly ball to center field for the first out of the top of the 6th inning, with the Aztecs leading 6-4. 2 runs coming in the bottom of the 5th on what might be called a very interesting play. Dacochea got a base hit and came around to score in the 2nd inning and grounded out to the shortstop Bojorquez in the 4th. High and away for a ball. Dacochea, 2017 graduate of Tucson High School and one of 19 Pima Community College players on this Aztec team. Way outside for a ball. So Osuna, first 2 batters, has gone 2-0. Didn't have any problem with that when he came in relief in the 4th or the 5th. So with an elongated time on the bench, is having a problem finding the strike zone here. 3-0. Seth Nager in right field is not quite as deep, or excuse me, not quite as shallow as he has played before. However, Graybosch in center is very shallow at the letters for a called strike. Graybosch and Nager got burned on a hot ground ball that just eluded the reach of Tyler Wiltshire at second, rode all the way to the wall, and in that time, Angel Ochoa legged it out for an inside-the-park home run. Slider drops in for a strike. 3-2 now after being behind 2-0. So Osuna has found his rhythm, at least on this batter, throwing 3 consecutive strikes. Fouled off. We'll go to the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Bottom of the 7th, the Cochise Stars and the Rincon Knights 5-3, with the Stars on top of that, and the Tucson Champs putting the pedal to the metal. Up 8-1 now to the Old Pueblo Kings. The Kings really, really needed this one to stay in contention for a playoff spot. Very active scorekeeper for us out there. Steve, this one ripped between shortstop and third. Long throw. I was amazed Bajorquez got there, but it was almost impossible from short left field. He had a very strong throw, but legging out what turned out to be an infield hit that certainly looked ticketed to left field on a fine play by Jorge Bajorquez at shortstop. That'll bring up the top of the order, Jacob Hakami. Hakami on an error but scored in the first inning. Got a walk in the second and a walk in the fourth. One of 4 walks that the leadoff pitcher, Trey Mesa, allowed. Runner starts to go, and now he's caught in no man's land. So let's see how they work it. Romero running right at him. Actually, you need to run him back to first base. Still have him in, hung up, and the shortstop, Bajorquez, puts the tag on him. So I'm not exactly sure what Daikachia was thinking about, but he took off early from first base. The pitch was a ball. Romero came out and ran right at him, which is exactly what you're supposed to do, but you need to run at the shoulder that is towards the higher numbered base. In other words, you got to get him to going back to first base, but as it turned out, they ran him back and forth, and finally the out recorded. 2 outs, nobody on, and a 1-ball count to the batter. This one down low, and once again, Marco Osuna. I will once again figure that being on the bench for an extended period of time has made him a little bit rusty, and that's not unusual. He's behind 2-0 once again. This one sharply hit out to Bajorquez at short, and he fires it over to first base for the 3rd out of the inning, and nothing across for the Aztecs in the top of the 6th. And after 5.5 innings of play, it's the Aztecs 6 and the BNL Rockets 4. When you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at East 22nd and Kalb. Chewy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they are there to satisfy. Chewy's at 22nd Street is open until 10 o'clock on weeknights and Sundays, until 11 on Friday, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, decor, and drinks at Chewy's at East 22nd Street and Kalb. Worth a trip out there just to see the decor. Very, very funky. To the bottom of the 6th inning, the BNL Rockets trailing by 2 after getting 2 in the 5th inning. Still on the mound is Travis Higdon, who came in when the starting pitcher Angel Castillo was arguing a play between second and third. First pitch is a ball, second one also a ball. This is to Evan Falwell. Falwell cranked one out of here in the first inning to give the BNL Rockets a 2-2 tie. This one is fouled off to the right side, 2 balls and a strike. And I don't know what the deal is there, but Falwell came out shaking his left hand. Might have been that he got the bat rattling, or maybe the concussion of the bat gave him a stinger there, or possibly cracked a finger. Boy, I want to tell you, when that bat vibrates on a ball that you hit off the end of the bat, you can really feel it all the way through your hand and up to your elbow. And Falwell is uncomfortable at the moment. On a 2-ball pitch, he swung at an outside pitch, hit it off the end of the bat, and I'm going to guess that the vibration got all the way down to his left hand, and he is in owie land there. Now, I believe the rules in the league indicate that you can put a substitute in for a player and he's not out of the game, so there's a discussion with the umpire right now as to how they're going to handle this. Falwell slams his helmet down, and it may have been that he cracked a bone or something in that left hand. Of course, I probably ought to stay out of speculation there, but he is definitely uncomfortable. Trainer will come out and take a little look at him. Maybe they have some of that spray that deadens things up a bit. Now, the BNL Rockets in a bit of a pickle here. I believe that they only had 2 replacement players in the ball game when they came in. So we'll see what happens here. Long discussion going on in this league because it is kind of a instructional league, a league where you want to have as many players in and out of the ball game. They do have fairly liberal substitution rules, as now Rod Allen wants to talk things over with Ray Encinas to see what the story is there. And while they're talking things over, we'll look at the outer fields. Nate Baez hit a single. He's gone 4 for 4, but he needs a triple for the cycle. Anyway, the Champs have extended their lead to 8-1 in their ball game in the top of the 7th inning with the Old Pueblo Kings, and that is a very, very important game for the Kings in that they need to be able to hang in there at 3.5 games out of the playoff spot rather than 4.5, which would happen if they lose to the Champs. The other ball game in the South Fields is in the top of the 8th inning, and it is the Cochise Stars 5-3 over the Rincon Knights. Now, the Cochise Stars are in 3rd spot, but they're only 2.5 games out. So a win needs to keep them in position to play the Aztecs, which will happen next week sometime. The Stars still have 2 games left against the Aztecs. So they are in striking distance. The BNL Rockets have just this game, and they've lost the 3 previous games to the Aztecs. So we'll see how this plays out. Fairly important game for BNL. And we see that Falwell has gone into the dugout. And we'll check and see what the situation here with the batter that is up swinging the bat. That is the pitcher, or the former pitcher, Trey Mesa, I believe, is up. No, that's 27. My apologies. Seth Nager. Nager is the third scheduled hitter here in the inning, so I'm not exactly sure why he might be taking the at-bat. Also in the on-deck circle is Preston Clifford, who is the next hitter in the lineup. Now, in the league, you do not have to have 10 players in the lineup, so they might just step over Falwell and give Preston Clifford the 2-1 count. They also have, well, they still have Falwell's number up on the board as a wind gust coming in here scatters my papers all over heck and a half acre. 97 degrees still and a warm wind blowing. We had cloud cover to begin with. Okay, what they're saying is that Falwell is out of the lineup and that the batting order will collapse. That means that Preston Clifford will come in. Now they've erased the ball and strike count on the board, so that will take Falwell out of the spot. The rule is you may put 10 players in, but you don't have to. So Falwell with a stinger with a ball off the end of the bat is out of the game, and in is Preston Clifford, who was the next hitter in the lineup. Clifford has walked twice, first pitch swinging, fouls off to the left side. So some very interesting situations have occurred in the last two innings here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. The pitch down in the dirt gets away from Escarilla, but there's nobody on, so obviously no advance. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the fourth spot in the lineup is now vacated, and since you only have to have 9 players in the lineup, Preston Clifford will now move up to that 4th spot, and everybody else will move up in turn. Big swing, nothing there but air, and the count goes to 1-2. To the plate, wrapped past the diving shortstop Ochoa and into left field for a base hit. So this is now the first batter of the 6th inning. It is the second base hit that Travis Higdon has given up since he came in the bottom of the 5th inning after starting pitcher Angel Castillo was tossed out arguing a decision on a runner between 2nd and 3rd, whether he had jumped out of the base path to avoid a tag. The first pitch to Seth Nager is a ball. Seth struck out swinging in the 1st inning, and on an outstanding play by Jacob Hakami was grounded out to the second baseman in the 4th. Next pitch is a ball. Between innings, we might have thought that Higdon would have gone down to the bullpen and thrown, but he did not choose to do that. Hits him. So a hit batter will put runners on 1st and 2nd in the bottom of the 2nd inning, with the Aztecs trying to cling on to a 2-run lead here. They're up 6-4, but a little bit of a rally being staged here by the BNL Rockets as we go to Jesus Lopez, the 3rd baseman. He is 0 for 2, grounded back to the pitcher at that time, Castillo. That was in the 2nd inning. In the 4th inning, struck out swinging. That one was also against Castillo. Higdon to the plate, high and away for a ball. And Travis is having a little bit of problem finding his release point. He was 2-0 to Falwell before Falwell fouled one off that just rattled the daylights out of his left hand. Pitch is inside for a ball. So for the 3rd time in 4 batters, Higdon has gone 2-0, and we will have a visit from the management here to see if they can hold the lid on this thing before it gets away from them. Discussion over, and everything will stay status quo. Nobody out, runners on first and second. Everybody goes. The throw down to third is not in time. So a double steal puts runners on second and third. The pitch was a ball, and Escamilla had a little bit of trouble getting the ball down and in, and then coming up, he did make a strong throw to third base, but it was not in time to catch the lead runner, Preston Clifford. Pitch for a ball, and that will load him up. So the bases are jammed here, and the BNL Rockets, trying to keep their hopes alive to get into first spot, are still alive and kicking here. First pitch to Tyler Wiltshire, the second baseman, inside for a called strike. Nobody out, and they're all loaded up. High and away for a ball, 1-1. Wiltshire popped up to the catcher, Escamilla, in the second inning and grounded out to Leon in the fifth. Outfielders in right and left have shortened up. This one, a high floater to right center field, and diving for it and coming up with it was the center fielder, Ram, but he could not get on his feet quickly enough to keep the runner from third from scoring. An outstanding play by A.J. Ram, and he is shaken up a little bit as he had to dive to catch that ball. Did a marvelous job of getting the distance that he had to get to be able to come up with that. Neither the runner on first or second was able to advance, and so a sacrifice fly ball to center field on an outstanding play by A.J. Ram to get that ball that was dropping fast in front of him. But it is a run batted in sacrifice fly for Wiltshire, and that will bring up Mario Corrales. So we now have a one-run game. We have only one out here in the bottom of the sixth inning, and the first pitch to Corrales is a strike. At the set is Higdon. High and away for a ball, 1-1. The right fielder, Bustamante, has swung over towards the right field line a little bit, and Ram in center field was playing relatively shallow, and that's probably the reason that he could get to that ball in any way, shape, or form. Outside corner for a called strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Stockton Pringle in left field has shortened up a little bit. The middle infielders at double play depth, with the exception of Hakami, who is out on the outfield grass, so they seem to expect Corrales to hit the ball to the right side. High and away, and it'll even up at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners on first and second. Way outside, and we'll go 3-2. Be interesting to see what happens here with the runners, because there was a double steal between Clifford and Nager, and that was with a 2-ball no strike count on Lopez. At the set, the runners are going, swung on and head out towards the second baseman. That is Hakami, and he only has one play, and that is to go to first base, but that'll be the third out of the inning. And 1 run did come across in the bottom of the 6th inning, so we have six full in the books now, and it is the Aztecs 6 and the BNL Rockets 5. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment, uniforms, school uniforms, and company printing. There's a full range of services including silk screening, embroidery, hot press custom printing, banners, and more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there on South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web, Elite Sporting Goods. A one-run ball game as we go to the top of the seventh inning. For the Aztecs, 6 runs, 10 hits, and 2 errors. For the BNL Rockets, 5 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. A little pop-up right at home plate, and Kiko Romero will gather it in for the first out on the first hitter in the top of the seventh inning. The Aztecs did 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. They got 1 in the fifth, and that's how they got their 6th. The BNL Rockets got 2 in the first, 2 in the fifth, and 1 in the sixth. And that arrives us, if you will, at the top of the seventh inning with a one-run ball game. And the first pitch to Angel Ochoa is a called strike. Angel really blasted one just to the right side of Tyler Wiltshire. The ball was hit so hard that it went past the shallow center fielder and right fielder for the BNL Rockets, went all the way to the wall, and Angel was able to leg it out for an inside-the-park home run. Outside corner for a called strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Angel got on and scored in the first inning on an error. Actually got on an error and came home on an error in a 3-error first inning. This one blasted right through the glove of Osuna and gets past the second baseman Wiltshire for a base hit. That's going to be the 11th hit for the Aztecs. The BNL Rockets, only 1 run behind, have achieved only 5 hits so far. A.J. Ram, who made an outstanding play in center field to get a dying quail line drive out there, steps in. In the stadium, his batting average has been .462, first pitch swinging, misses it for a strike. A.J. got a base hit in the first inning, flew out to the right fielder Nager in the second, and struck out swinging in the fifth. Marco Osuna, beginning to face batters for the second time around, was the one that struck him out in the fifth. Osuna came on in the fourth inning, so this is his 4th inning of work. He gave up that home run. Second pitch, a called strike, 0-2. Outside of that, he's been fairly successful. 0-2 pitch, watch the runner at first, whether he's going to be going. Started to go, didn't take off, and a swinging pitch, and they're going to call a balk. Osuna kind of hesitated when Ochoa made a hard move towards second base. So a balk will move him over to second. There's no pitch to Ram. His count is still 0-2, but now a runner in scoring position. Aztecs trying to fight back after having a 5-2 lead. Fouled off to the right side. Count will remain. Infield of Lopez at third, Bajorquez at short, Whitshire at second, and over at first base, we have Ryan Graybosch, who came in from center field, lifted high down the right field line. Nager over to take a look at it. Also over there is Wiltshire and the first baseman, who is now Graybosch, and we'll have to pick up who is in center field. Falwell, who had started at first base on a 2-ball and no strike count, swung hard at a pitch, caught it right on the end of the bat, and sent vibrations through every muscle and every cell of his left hand, and was unable to continue. This one fouled off to the right side again, so we'll go to the sixth pitch of the at bat. The last three fouled off. Looks like Tyson Coleman is now in center field. To the plate, swung on, and nothing but air. Second out. Second strikeout for Osuna. Escarilla comes in. He has a 2-base hit night. Swings at the first pitch and fouls it back into the screen. He got a double and scored in the third inning. Got a base hit in the fifth inning. Got all the way around to third base, but was left there. 0-1 pitch. First base is open. Called strike outside corner. Nice pitch by Osuna. Osuna doing a fine job. Has given up 1 run over his innings of work here. Runner goes, hit to the hole, and the run will score. So a hit and run with 2 strikes, 0-2. And that's when pitching coaches begin to look for small caliber handguns. That is just to wound themselves. They don't want to kill themselves. They just want to make it hurt for a while. An 0-2 pitch that was close enough to be able to get a bat on, and that will lengthen the lead now for the Aztecs back to 2 runs, and that will bring up the right fielder Alex Bustamante. Bustamante got a sacrifice RBI. This one hit to the hole between third and short, so 2 consecutive base hits to exactly the same place. This time it was not a hit and run. The ball hit sharply enough that the base runner, the courtesy runner for Escarilla, goes over to second base. And with 2 outs, runners on first and second, and that will bring up Dunn. Dunn is the designated hitter. He's 0 for 2. He did get a walk in the third inning, but in the first and the fifth, made out. Big swing by Mr. Dunn. So just as the BNL Rockets scratch themselves back into contention, they give up a run here in the top of the 7th and are down by 2. The pitcher stumbles off the mound, and that will be considered a balk, and runners will move up. Looked like he caught a spike as he came through the pitcher's mound. He did throw the ball to home plate. The pitch will not count, but I thought that even on the awkward move, if you get the ball to home plate, why they don't call balk. Nathan Baez, who's going bananas for Team Tucson, just got a base hit. This one ripped right up the middle, and that'll score 2. Grabbing it up is Coleman in center field. They have the runner off at first base, but there's nobody covering. And that will really put a nail in a coffin here for the BNL Rockets as they give up 2 more runs here in the 7th inning. Richard Ware will come up to bat. 3 runs are across here in the top of the 7th inning. First pitch is a ball to Richard Ware, the first baseman. Ware got a base hit and came around to score in the 2nd inning. Flew out to right in the 3rd and grounded back to the pitcher in the 5th inning. Swinging strike, 1-1. Marco Osuna had been sailing along, doing very well through the first out here in the 7th. Base hit, strikeout, base hit, base hit, base hit. Ball gets away from Romero, but he keeps it in front of him, and there's no runner advance. 2 balls and a strike as the pitchers are moving out into the right field bullpen for the Aztecs. This one ticketed towards right center will drop actually in front of the right fielder, Nager, and everybody will move up 90 feet as we get the 4th consecutive base hit, and that will load them up. So the runner on first, Dunn, goes to second. Take that back. It just puts runners on first and second. I forgot about the balk and the 2-run scores on the base hit. And Alberto Leon looks at a pitch on the outside corner for a strike. So 3 are across here. That was the 15th hit recorded by the Aztecs. This one blasted down to third base. Up with it is the third baseman Lopez, and he will get it over to first base for the 3rd out of the inning. But the BNL Rockets have gotten themselves in a situation where they're going to really have to work. They've got 3 more at-bats, the bottom of the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and they are currently trailing after 6.5 innings of play by a score of 9-5. It needs to be Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium on the 4th of July. Listen to this, a spectacular fireworks show, 25 to 30 minutes worth, that will follow an all-star game. That game will only go 7 innings. The game starts at 6:30 so that the gates can open at 5, and they'll be opening up to dollar hot dogs, giveaways, a kids zone with games, music, and much more. All of this for just $4. There is a parking fee, but if you buy advance tickets either here at the stadium or at the Kino Sports Arena office, you will get free parking. Also, you can pick up advance sales tickets at the Pizza Hut, Food City, or the Cactus Bowling Alley, and all of that will get you in with free parking and only $4 with advance ticket sale. Kino Stadium, 4th of July. Got to be here. Gates open at 5. Game starts at 6:30. And imagine fireworks will go off somewhere between 8:30 and 9. Got a new pitcher on the mound for the Aztecs. This is Michael Corral. And he will come in here to face the bottom of the order for the BNL Rockets. This is Edwin Martinez. Martinez came into the game batting .286. He has a base hit and a strikeout, but in that strikeout, it got away from the catcher, and he got on, wraps this pitch into right center field for a base hit. So Martinez has two, and that one rolls all the way through. Are we going to get a repeat of the home run? No. Hard hit ball goes all the way through and all the way to the wall, and once again, a long distance in this big outfield for these young baseball players, and Ram and Bustamante had it cut between them and go all the way to the wall. So a leadoff triple here for the BNL Rockets in the top of the seventh inning. Check that, the bottom of the seventh inning, as they trail 9-5. Coming up to bat is Ryan Graybosch. Ryan started in center field and has since moved over to first base. They say that the runner did not touch first base, and Mike Odom really was upset when they ran the play over there. He was absolutely certain that he had missed first base. We looked up to see where the ball was going and did not have a chance to see it, but Odom, who is not necessarily that outspoken, pitch is fouled off, came out of the dugout with a holler in disagreement with the base umpire Ray Encinas in saying that Martinez missed first base. Anyway, Graybosch is the batter. First pitch swinging is fouled off. Graybosch has a base hit in 3 times at bat, got on an error in the 5th inning. And Michael Corral rocks and throws high for a ball, 1-1. First pitch swinging was Edwin Martinez, and almost in an absolute replica of a ball that was hit past a second baseman and rolled all the way to the wall. That one resulted in a home run for the BNL, check that, for the Aztecs. So the Rockets tried to replicate that and came up missing. 2-1 pitch, high and inside, 3-1. So Michael Corral with a lead of 9-5 needs to just throw strikes here and keeps runners off the bases. Gave up a triple to the first hitter. Inside corner for a called strike. 3-2 will be the count. This is the third pitcher that the Aztecs have used, and they have a fourth one warming up out in the bullpen. Try to catch who that is. Fouled off straight back. Count will go to 3-2. Try to catch who is warming up out there. It's the side armor, and I can't remember who it is. Can't see his number. Seen him once before in the stadium here. 3-2 count, taking a long time on the mound is Michael Corral. Wind is a blowing up here. Flags are almost straight out. And it is a called third strike and gets a lot of argument out of the BNL dugout. Umpires have chased one player so far in this ball game. And the umpires in the stands did not agree with it. Bajorquez is the hitter. He's the shortstop. He has one base hit in 3 times at bat. The first pitch to him is a called strike. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning with the Aztecs scoring 3 in the top of the 7th to take a 9-5 lead. Slider misses outside, 1-1. Misses on that one, and the count will go to 2-1. to the plate, wrap right back through center, and that'll score a run. So an RBI single with one out in the bottom of the seventh inning. Leadoff triple by Edwin Martinez that made it all the way to the right center field wall as a ground ball. And that will bring up the catcher, Kiko Romero. Romero 0 for 2. He got a walk and scored in the first inning on the home run by Evan Falwell, who fouled the ball off the end of his bat. This one lifted high to center field. Closing is A.J. Ram, and he has it under control. And so that will be a fly out to the center fielder for the second out of the inning. Anyway, Falwell was scheduled to be in this spot, but when he rattled the bat all the way down to his hand and through his elbow, he was very upset. But he had to come out of the game, and now would be a perfect time to have the big slugger in there. He got a home run in his first inning that tied the score at 2-2. But all of that is a moot situation as the batter is Preston Clifford. The runner goes. The throw down to second base goes into center field, and the runner is safe. The pitch was a ball. Escurilla had to kind of reach across his body to get set and come up with the throw. The throw was in time, but in the dirt, and Hakami could not come up with it. A.J. Ram moves over to the right side, and this one just gets away from the pitcher, and just avoiding being hit was Clifford, and that will move the runner over to third base on a wild pitch. Two balls and no strikes, a couple of outs here in the seventh inning. But one run is in, a triple and a base hit. A stolen base and a wild pitch has put Bajorquez at third. The pitch is down low, 3-0. And Michael Corral having a little problem locating his pitches here. Does not want to give in, because first base is open. Outside corner for a call strike, 3-1. Seth Nager is the on-deck hitter. So a 3-run deficit now by BNL. This one hit deep, right field. Scurrying around to find it is Bustamante. He went back to his right and then did a 360 and came around and caught the ball to his left. So it still looks like an out in the book, but it certainly was not pretty, and it's a good thing that he took dance lessons when he was in elementary school, because he needed every step to be able to figure that one out. Cazal has been a leader in all aspects of fire protection since 1982. Cazal Fire Protection Company serves both home and business locations by providing design, planning, and management of your fire protection needs. Cazal has an extensive knowledge in fire protection and works hard to keep their fine reputation. Look online to find Cazal Fire Protection, first in quality, serving with pride. New pitcher for the BNL Rockets. He will move in from center field, so we'll have to pick up who's out in center field in just a second. This is Tyson Coleman. He will face the bottom of the order for the Aztecs. First pitch swinging is Joseph Dicachia. He has 2 hits in 3 appearances tonight. And then we'll go to the top of the order, the scheduled hitter, Hakami, and then Pringle. So BNL doing the right thing in pecking away at the 4-run deficit. Pitch is called a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. So they picked up 1 of the 4-run deficit in the 7th inning. They have yet the 8th and the 9th, so it really is important for BNL to hold the Aztecs. Swinging strikeout. First strikeout reported by Tyson Coleman. And we'll go to the top of the order. This will be Jacob Hakami. He got on and scored on 1 of the 3 errors in the first inning. Then 2 walks in a row, and then he grounded out to Bajorquez at shortstop. 1 out, nobody on, top of the 8th. Leans him back just a little bit for a ball. The on-deck hitter is Stockton Pringle. And he is in the on-deck circle swinging a bat. This one fouled off to the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Final score, Cochise Stars 5-3 over the Rincon Knights. And also a final in the outer field. The Tucson Champs 8-2 over the Kings. So this is the only one still active in the 3-game Sun Belt schedule tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down low for a ball. 2-1. Hakami came into the ball game batting .320. Coleman rocks and fires high and inside. 3-1. Check and see who is in center field. Well, the pitcher Marco Osuna went out there, waved at and missed. 3-2. So Marco Osuna, I mentioned that BNL had only 2 replacements and they lost one of their players through a bat vibration. I know that sounds weird, but if you have never swung a bat and hit it off the end, you have no idea how much vibration is sent down that bat and can rattle the daylights out of your hands, your forearm, your elbow, and all the way up to your shoulder. Falwell was kind of favoring his left hand, however, so that's probably where he got most of the discomfort. A walk, 1 out base runner. And that will bring up the second hitter in the lineup, the left fielder Stockton Pringle. He has 1 hit in 4 times at bat. First pitch, a ball. 9-6 our score. The league-leading Aztecs got off to a 2-run first-inning lead. This one sent out to right field. Nager takes a step back but recovers and comes forward to get the out. Second out of the inning. Angel Ochoa has been putting on quite a show tonight. He got on an error in the first inning and came around to score. He hit an inside-the-park home run in the 5th inning and got a base hit and came around to score in the 7th. Did have 1 at-bat where he got on a fielder's choice, and so he steps in there batting 2 for 4 with an inside-the-park home run. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. Swings at a pitch way outside. It gets away from the catcher Romero, rolls all the way to the backstop, and that will send Hakami over to second base. So Marco Osuna taking right up where the center fielders of the BNL Rockets have been, and that is playing very shallow in center field. Dancing around out at second base is Hakami. Nobody is holding him on. Outfielders really need to kind of shorten up here because they cannot afford to have another run scored by the Aztecs. Slider down low, swung at and missed. The Aztecs did have a pitcher warming up out in the outfield. It was their side armor, and for the life of me, I can't remember who that is. Never did catch a number. 0-2. A little tough when you're trying to keep track of the rosters of 7 different teams. Coleman asking for another show of the signs. Lots of leagues, the signs come from the bench, but to the best of my knowledge in this league, the catchers have been responsible for laying down the signs. Long look at second, comes to the plate. Holds up, swung on, and a swinging strike. So that will be the third out of the inning. Nothing across for the Aztecs, which is exactly what the BNL Rockets needed to have happen. And so after 7.5 innings of play, it's the Aztecs 9 and the BNL Rockets 6. O'Reilly Chevrolet would like to have you know all about their 95th anniversary tent sale. It's going on right now, and they have outstanding savings up to 20% off of MSRP on the most popular cars, trucks, and SUVs on their lot. So get on by, check out the selection. O'Reilly Chevrolet at 6160 East Broadway. They are the good folks that you know will provide you the best in sales and service. O'Reilly Chevrolet. First pitch swinging, a dive by Ochoa, but he can't come up with it, and it goes into shallow left field. Seth Nager, the right fielder, gets a base hit, and that will lead things off for the BNL Rockets here. In the bottom of the 8th inning, they did a good job of getting one run across in the 7th and then holding the Aztecs in the top of the 8th. So they will see if they can't peck away at it here. Throw to first, not in time. That brings up Jesus Lopez. Lopez got a walk his last time up, but is 0 for 2. Runner doesn't move. Call at the knees is a strike. So Nager on with a single here to start off the 8th inning. And the percentages of you being able to score, Leon needs to pay a little bit more attention to the hitter and not worry so much about the runner at first. Alberto Leon has moved from third to the mound here. He is the 4th pitcher being used by the Aztecs, And moving over to third is Stockton. So we'll have to check to see who came in or who moved into left field. Oh and 2 on the hitter Lopez. Again moves to first base. You don't want to get too much of your attention over there. You lose that attention to the hitter and make a mistake. 0 and 2, the ball needs to be out of the strike zone. It is not. It is hit sharply to left field. Over to get it is Nicholas Aldrete, and he fumbles the ball, and the runners move up 90 feet as the ball comes into the infield, overshot the cutoff man, so Nicholas Aldrete kicking the ball around out there a little bit, and that puts 2 runners on in scoring position. A base hit and goes to second base on the error by the left fielder, and the first baseman, Seth Nager, who started the inning with a base hit, goes around to third. So second and third, first and third on the grass, well, they back off a little bit now. And the hitter is Tyler Wiltshire. Takes his first pitch outside for a ball. Game earlier in the season between these two. Big bunch of runs in the late innings, but the Aztecs wound up on top. Another game that we had here, there were 5 runs scored in the bottom of the 9th inning. This is only the bottom of the 8th. Big swing and a miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wiltshire has an RBI sacrifice fly in the 6th. Before that, he was 0 for 2. Another big swing and comes up empty, and that'll be a strikeout for Leon. His first strikeout since taking over here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We started off with Castillo. He got tossed in the 5th inning after an argument about a base runner running outside the baselines. Then Travis Hignan came on, Michael Corral, and now Alberto Leon. The first pitch to Mario Corrales. Check that. This will be a pinch hitter for BNL. Tyson Coleman. So Coleman went into the field, and now he's laps one right past Ochoa and into center field. The play is coming to the plate. It's cut off, and 2 runs will score. So a base hit by Coleman, who has gone on to the mound, and he gets a 2 RBI single, and the BNL Rockets are doing exactly what they intend or what they need to do, and that is to chip away at it, and they've just chipped 2 away. Conference between the umpires, I'm not exactly sure what the discussion is about. Well, there's a big, long discussion now, so have not got a clue what they're discussing. Well, they're sending the runner back to third. Not exactly sure why. So back to third will go Seth Nager. What? Well, now I am totally lost. Jesus Lopez, who's on first over here? Well, we don't have any contact with the scorer on this, and I'm not sure why Nager is still at third base. The hitter is number 5. 1 ball and no strikes to Edwin Martinez. They have no runs up on the board. Trying to get some clarification. Do not see who is on first, whether it is Coleman or not. Pitch is high for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. The only thing that I can think of is possibly Coleman was called out for catcher interference. Well, at any rate, we've got 2 outs on the board. So obviously Coleman must have recorded an out somehow, some way. The count is 2 balls and 1 strike to Edwin Martinez. Waves at 1 and misses, 2-2. We've got runners at first and third. No runs across on what we thought was a 2 RBI single by Tyson Coleman. Apparently, for some reason, he was out. Possibly, well, catcher's interference obviously would be, this one fouled off. Catcher's interference would be have him on the base. Well, I admit that I am totally lost here. All I can report is what we see in front of us, and that is that there are 2 outs on the board. The count is 2-2 to Edwin Martinez. Still can't see who is on first, whether it's Lopez or Coleman. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. Inside for a ball. That's the 6th pitch of the at-bat, 7th coming up. And the count is 3-2. On a 2-2 pitch, whoever it is that's on first base, whether it is Lopez or Coleman, well, they say it's Coleman. So why would Lopez have been out? Wow. Runner goes inside for a ball, and the bases are loaded. So Coleman at second. Nager is at third. The bases are loaded. So something must have happened with Lopez, and I'm not sure what it could have been. The batter is the interference. Okay, base runner's interference. Thank you, I appreciate that. And now we're going to go out and have a discussion with the pitcher. He didn't like that ball, so it comes back. Thank you for the pronunciation correction there, Dicochea. Appreciate that. So somehow or other there was base runner's interference on Lopez, and he was the second out. Well, now we have the bases loaded, and the batter is in fact Ryan Graybosch. Graybosch struck out looking in the 7th inning, got on an error in the 5th, a base hit in the 3rd, and grounded out to the shortstop in the 1st inning. So a little bit of a discussion here to say, son, you need to settle it down. We can't give up runs. We thought 2 had come around, but as it turns out, Seth Nager is on third base. Tyson Coleman is on second. Edwin Martinez is on first, and the batter is Ryan Graybosch. And the discussion is over, and we'll come back to a 1-ball count to the top of the order, Graybosch. Everything is in the books except this one. To the plate. Half swing, fouled off to the right side. Apparently it was not a foul tip. The ball got away from Ekashia, but no advancement. The runner at first, who is Martinez, almost got caught in no man's land there. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning, bases loaded. Inside, the ball does get away from Ekashia, and the run scores. So BNL has chipped away another run. And have runners at second and third very alertly moving up. So 1 run in, 9-7 is the score now. 2 balls and a strike. In the dirt once again. 3-1 goes the count. First base is, of course, open. Runners at second and third. 2 outs. Fouled straight back. 3-2 will be the count. Runners in scoring position. Enough to tie it up. The go-ahead run is at the plate in the form of Ryan Graybosch, who went from center field to first base when they had all the players shuffling. 3-2. Fouled off to the right side and will go to the 7th pitch of the at-bat. The Aztecs on a 7-game winning streak. The BNL Rockets are on a 3-game winning streak. The Rockets 2.5 games behind the Aztecs, so this is an important one for them and an opportunity to finish up on top. Ball 4. Second walk of the inning giving up by Leon. He does have 1 strikeout, and they're all loaded up again. And Jorge Bajorquez coming into this ball game batting .353, and will have a visit to the mound by Mike Odom, the manager for the Aztecs, as Bajorquez comes up here, having gotten a base hit his last 2 times at bat. He is 2 for 4 on the evening. New pitcher with them all loaded up here in the bottom of the 8th inning. This is Alex Bustamante. Couple of outs. First pitch down low for a ball. The shortstop, Jorge Bajorquez, is up there. He's gotten a base hit in his last 2 times at bat. Actually got an RBI single in the 7th. Outside corner called strike, 1-1. To the plate, 1-1. Down low, 2-1. Well, it sure looked like the pitch came off of the bat, but howsoever, the runner goes down to first, and that brings a runner in from third base. Second run to come across this inning, and so it is now 9-8. And Kiko Romero will step in there. Base runners move up 90 feet. First pitch to Kiko is a ball. He is 0 for 3 tonight. He got a walk and came around on the 2-run home run by Falwell. Next pitch is outside for a ball. So what we have is Edwin Martinez is over at third. At second base is Ryan Graybosch. At first base, Bajorquez. They are loaded up, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th inning, and 2 in. Big slug, right center field, back to the warning track, still going back and can't get it. That's Coleman out in right field, and the run will go all the way around to third base, and that will score 3. A 3-run triple that just kept going and going and going. Chasing it out there was Christopher Dunn, and he just could not catch up with it. And 3 will come across. Five in the inning, and it goes to 11-9. The hitter is Preston Clifford, as 9 batters have batted around here. He is the 9th hitter in the inning with 2 outs. Two balls. Clifford ripped the line drive to right field. It was caught by the current pitcher. Before that, he got a base hit, a walk, and another walk, this one outside. And the count goes to 3-0. Bustamante is the 5th pitcher used by the Aztecs tonight, and their 7-game winning streak is on the line. Inside for a ball, 4 pitches, got the walk, and runners on first and third, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and suddenly BNL has launched themselves into the lead by a score of 11-9. They've plated 6, check that, 5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fouled off to the left side. So Seth Nager up for the second time. He got a base hit and came around to score his first time up in the bottom of the 8th. Runners on first and third. Still 2 outs. Wrapped right back up through the middle and into center field, and that will score 1. It was hit hard enough that Clifford stopped at second base, and the hit parade just keeps right on coming. That will bring up Jesus Lopez, who was the second hitter in the inning. Curveball gets away and almost conks him on the bean. Jesus got a base hit and came around to score. 6 across in the inning. Outside for a ball. 2-0. There's activity in the Aztecs bullpen. They have another important game coming up here shortly with Cochise Stars. So they're burning through pitchers pretty readily tonight. Big swing. Lopez came out of his shoes on that one. 2 balls and a strike. Runner goes to third. The fire down to third, and they missed him. So runners advance. That will send Clifford to third. And over to second base will be Nager. Lopez with a 3-1 count on him now with first base open and 2 outs. At the set. To the plate. Outside, and it gets away. Here comes the run. So base on balls. The runners will move up, and a 7th run has come across here in the 8th inning. Tyler Wiltshire stepping in. Struck out swinging his last time at bat. First pitch down low for a ball. He got a sacrifice fly RBI in the 6th inning, grounded out to third in the 5th, and in the 2nd inning, popped out to the catcher. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. (13-9), 7 of them across here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fouled that off accidentally. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes. Runner goes from first, swung on and missed, and that will be the final out of this, the bottom of the 8th inning, with 7 runs coming across, and at the end of 8 full innings of play, the BNL Rockets have taken over the lead by a 13-9 count, and we'll go to the top of the 8th, the top of the 9th inning, and the last chance for the Aztecs to keep their winning streak alive. The top Tucson driving school is Stop and Go Driving School. Learning to drive is not just something that you do to pass your test and get your license. You do it to make sure you're safe on the road. Hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents happen every year, many of them fatal. With the Stop and Go Driving School expert teachers, you'll be best placed to keep yourself safe. Certified driver's education courses are available at Stop and Go Driving School. Well, an interesting turn of events in the bottom of the 8th inning as the BNL Rockets pushed across 7 runs. And they are on the lead 13-9 right now. The first pitch to A.J. Ram is a ball. And we have Tyler Wiltshire on the mound right now, so there's going to be some maneuvering in the infield. And we'll try to give you who is where on that lineup in just a second. This one ripped but foul left side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lopez continues at third and Bajorquez at short. But over at second base is Tyson Coleman. Ryan Graybosch is at first. We'll check the outfield here in just a second. 1-1 pitch. Ram on the evening is 1 for 4. Strikes out on a high fastball. And that is the second strikeout in a row. But in this case, it was Coleman, now Wiltshire, getting the strikeout. And that brings up Sal Escurilla. Escurilla is the catcher tonight. Checking the outfield, Martinez is in left. Osuna is in center, and Nager is in right. Inside corner for a called strike. So the Aztecs, if they're going to keep that 7 straight going here, they need to get base runners, and they neglect to get the first guy on. Breaking pitch slides way high, 1-1. Escurilla got an RBI single in the 7th inning. He had 2 base hits before that, so he's had a good night, 3 for 3 right now. This one lifted high to center field. Circling back is the center fielder Osuna, and he gathers it in for the out. So the Aztecs are down to their last out here in the top of the 9th inning. They are the visiting team. Alex Bustamante will be the hitter. Bustamante has gotten 2 consecutive hits. He also got an RBI sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning and flew out to right field in the 1st. Bustamante was on the mound for a short period of time. First ball is a ball to him. He came in with 2 outs in the 8th inning and could not stem the Tide lapping up for 7 runs. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. So BNL, instead of being 2.5 games out of, or rather 2 games out of first place, will only be 1 if this 13-9 count hangs up there. Swung on and missed, 1-2. Wind has blown our stuff around here. So I'm going to have to pick up the information sheet in just a second. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just misses high, 2-2. Graybosch at first base thought that was a strike and started to trot towards the dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking pitch, called strike, high strike. 3rd out of the inning, and that's the way things end. So tied in the first part of this whole thing, and then having to give away to a 7-run inning. And that came at the expense of a loss here for the Aztecs. Their first time in 7 outings. They had 8 in a row. So let's take a check on the line scores out there before they turn the lights out on me. For the Aztecs, 4 runs, 15 hits, and 3 errors. And then for the BNL Rockets, did I say 4? That's 9. They got lights out on the scoreboard. 13, 11, and 3. So that will be the final from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Let's take a look at the games that were on the outlying fields. Nate Baez just had a career for the Tucson Champs tonight. He was 5 for 5 in a position in his last 2 at-bats to garner a triple and hit for the cycle, but that did not happen. But 5 for 5 will be a fine night as the Tucson champs come up with a 5-2 victory over the Old Pueblo Kings, and that hurts the Kings' chances of getting into that fourth and final playoff spot. In the other game, a little bit closer, Cochise Stars beat the Rincon Knights by a score of 5-3. So let's look at the standings here. The Aztecs now have dropped down to 14-4. The BNL Rockets are 13-5. So as I said, they're now one game out. The Cochise Stars, with their victory, keep pace, and they are at 12-5. They have 2 more games left against the Aztecs. Team Tucson did not play tonight. The Old Pueblo Kings lost their ball game, and they're now 5-13. The Tucson champs won, so they will slide ahead of the Kings and be competing for that playoff spot, as they are now 6-12. They were 3.5 games out of that spot, but that puts them at 2.5 games out of the fourth and final playoff spot. And, of course, the Rincon Knights coming up on the short end, they are 3-14 now. So that's it for the standings at the moment. Once again, looking at the scores, it was the Aztecs getting 9. Looked like they had this thing well in hand, but in the bottom of the 8th inning, they let it get away from them, and they wind up losing 13-9. The Tucson champs, with an outstanding performance by their shortstop, Nate Baez, who went 5 for 5, wind up on top of the Kings by an 8-2 count. And then the Cochise Stars came away with a 5-3 victory over the Rincon Knights. Tomorrow night we'll be right back here with the Old Pueblo Kings and the Rincon Knights. And it will behoove the Knights to do something to try to get out of the cellar, but it's more important. All of these games for the Kings are kind of a must-win because they're now 2.5 games out of that fourth and final playoff spot. So they need to come up with a victory. The Cochise Stars will play these Aztecs, and the Cochise Stars are now a game and a half out of first place. With a victory there, they will close it up to just a half game, and they not only have a game tomorrow against the Aztecs, but they have the fourth and final game a little bit later on in the season. And then the third game scheduled for tomorrow will be the Tucson champs and Team Tucson. Well, that about does it from Veterans Memorial Stadium tonight. Our final line score, the Aztecs 9 runs, 15 hits, and 3 errors. The BNL Rockets, plating 7 in the bottom of the 8th inning, come away with 13 runs on only 11 hits. They did commit 3 errors. That's it from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. We'll look forward to seeing you here again tomorrow night. We start around 6:50, and the game will be between the Old Pueblo Kings and the Rincon Knights. From Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, this is Alan Scott saying good night.